Assalamu alaikum students, hope you all are fine. We have already discussed the gross anatomy of liver, the gross anatomical features of liver and how the liver is divided into two anatomical lobes by the reflection of ligaments from its surface and certain fissures which are present on the surface of liver. Although parenchyma of the liver appears continuous, but the liver has functionally independent right and left lobes, which are also called parts or portal lobes. These lobes are much more equal in size as compared to anatomical lobes, where right lobe is much larger as compared to left. And what is the basis of this functional division? The functional division is based on division of portal triad. Portal triad, which consists of portal vein, bile duct and hepatic artery. So this functional division is based on division of this portal triad, but mainly portal vein into right and left branches. So division of portal vein into right and left branches, and then further division of portal vein basically divides the liver into its functional lobes. When we consider the postero-inferior surface of the liver, we have seen the groove for inferior vena cava and fissure for ligamentum venosum on posterior surface, while fossa for gallbladder and fissure for ligamentum teres on the visceral surface. Two sagittally oriented fissures are present on both these surfaces. If we draw a line from the groove for inferior vena cava down towards fossa for gallbladder and another plane which extends from fissure for ligamentum venosum to fissure for ligamentum teres, and this one is porta hepatis. So it forms this H shaped fissure on the postero-inferior surface, one of which is called right sagittal fissure. This one is right sagittal fissure, which is a continuous groove formed anteriorly by the fossa for gallbladder and posteriorly by the groove for inferior vena cava, and other is umbilical or left sagittal fissure, which is continuous groove formed anteriorly by the fissure for ligamentum teres and posteriorly by the fissure for ligamentum venosum. As I have told you that liver is divided into functional lobes by the division of portal triad, mainly portal vein. So the liver is divided into right and left hemilivers. Why we called it hemilivers? Because functional right and left lobes are almost equal in size, and this division is based on primary division. When the portal triad divide into right and left branches, that is called primary division, and it divides the liver into right and left lobes, and the plane which divide the liver into right and left hemilivers or lobes is called main portal fissure. On the visceral surface, this fissure is drawn by a line from a groove for inferior vena cava towards fossa for gallbladder, which is called right sagittal plane we have just discussed, while no such fissure is present on diaphragmatic surface. So on the diaphragmatic surface, this main portal fissure is demarcated by an imaginary line that is called Cantley's line, and this line is taken from midpoint of the fossa for gallbladder. This one is an oblique line and it extends towards groove for inferior vena cava. So this is called main portal fissure, and please remember that middle hepatic vein lies in this plane. Each functional lobe receives its own primary branch of portal vein, hepatic artery, and drained by its own hepatic duct. Here we can see the primary division of this portal triad. This is blue color portal vein, and then hepatic artery and bile ducts. This is primary division. and middle hepatic vein runs in this main portal fissure. Then right and left functional lobes are further divided into sectors. The functional right liver is subdivided by right portal fissure into medial and lateral sectors. Now, what is this right portal fissure? The right portal fissure has no external demarcation. It runs almost obliquely from the anatomical right lobe from the lateral end of its inferior border, and it extends obliquely towards groove for inferior vena cava. This right portal fissure divides the right functional liver into these lateral and medial sectors, and remember that right hepatic vein runs in this plane. Functional left lobe is also divided into medial and lateral sectors by an umbilical fissure. The umbilical or left sagittal fissure is a continuous groove formed anteriorly by this falciform ligament and on visceral surface by the fissure for ligamentum teres anteriorly and the fissure for ligamentum venosum posteriorly. So a left to this Cantley's line or main portal fissure, this is functional left lobe which is divided into medial and lateral sectors by this umbilical or left sagittal fissure, and remember that left hepatic vein lies in this plane. Each of these four divisions, the four sectors, receive secondary branch of the portal triad. So what is the basis for division of functional lobes into sectors? This is secondary division of the portal triad, and here we can see the secondary division and how they divide into these lateral and medial sectors of the right functional lobe and medial and lateral segments of sectors of the left functional lobe, and all these receive secondary division. And this is the main portal fissure in which we can see the middle hepatic vein, and this one is right hepatic vein, and this one is left hepatic vein in the umbilical fissure. Then the liver is further divided into segments. Liver is divided into 8 segments. The segment 1 corresponds to anatomical caudate lobe. This one, caudate lobe, is segment 1. This is functionally independent lobe as it receives its supply from both portal veins and hepatic arteries, and it drains independently into inferior vena cava by multiple small veins. Then when we see the left lateral sector, it contains segment 2 posteriorly and segment 3 anteriorly. Segment 4 lies between the umbilical fissure. This one is umbilical fissure and this one is main portal fissure. So this is segment 4, and please remember on the visceral surface the quadrate lobe and part of fossa for gallbladder, this is recognized as segment 4 on the visceral surface. Segment 5 and segment 6 are inferior segments of the right medial and lateral sectors, while segment 7 and segment 8 are superior segments of the right lateral and right medial sectors. And these segments are divided or separated on the basis of tertiary division of portal triad, except the caudate lobe which has independent blood supply and biliary drainage. All other segments receive tertiary division of portal triad, and if you see these segments are arranged clockwise. These segments are arranged clockwise on this diaphragmatic surface, 1, 2, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, while on the visual surface segments run anti-clockwise. So we can see all the segments except segment 1 on this diaphragmatic surface. Segment 1 is the caudate lobe. Now in these diagrams we can see how the veins are present in these fissures. So this is the middle hepatic vein which is present in the main portal fissure. This one is a right hepatic vein present in the right portal fissure, and this one is left hepatic vein which is present in the left umbilical fissure, portal fissure or umbilical fissure. And in this diagram we can see the division of portal triad into primary branches which divide the liver into two functional lobes, then secondary branches which divide each functional lobe into two sectors, and then tertiary divisions which form segments. Again we can see the portal vein and how it divide into primary branches. This is right and left branches called primary division, and then secondary division, two sectors on each side, and then tertiary division, two segments. And we can see the segment 1, that is caudate lobe, receives branch from both portal veins, from both right and left portal veins. Okay, what is the clinical significance? Why we divide the liver into sectors and segments? Actually, when it was discovered that right and left hepatic arteries and ducts as well as branches of right and left hepatic portal veins, they do not communicate, it became possible to perform hepatic lobectomies. What is this? That is removal of right or left part of the liver without excessive bleeding, or even hepatic segmentectomies, that is removal or resect only those segments that have sustained a severe injury or are affected by a tumor. In this, the right, intermediate, and left hepatic veins serve as guides for the surgeons to the planes, the fissures between the hepatic divisions. Now we know the liver is the largest organ in the body, as well as the weight of liver is about 1.5 kg. How the liver is stabilized and maintained in its position in the right upper quadrant of abdomen? It is maintained by both static and dynamic factors. We can divide the supporting structures into primary, secondary, and tertiary supports. The primary supports include, first of all, the most important hepatic veins. Hepatic veins with inferior vena cava, they provide the most important support for the liver. The next one are ligaments, the peritoneal ligaments, in which the coronary and triangular ligaments, these ligaments are included in the primary supports. And the next are secondary supports. Secondary supports are provided by adjacent viscera. If you remember the relations of the liver, like right kidney, right colic flexure, and duodeno-pancreatic complex, these structures provide support and they are included in secondary supports, while tertiary supports are provided by attachment to anterior abdominal wall and diaphragm with the help of falciform ligament. So coronary and triangular ligaments provide primary support, while falciform ligament provide tertiary support. But please remember, the main support for the liver are hepatic veins and inferior vena cava. The surgical implication of these different factors are important for understanding the pathophysiology of blunt liver trauma. And when considering the stability of transplanted liver grafts, the inferior vena cava and hepatic veins, especially right hepatic vein, appears to be the most important anatomical structures that support the bulk of liver. Other factors that influence the position of liver within abdominal cavity include positive intra-abdominal pressure and movement of diaphragm during respiration. Now, briefly about nerve supply of the liver. The nerves of the liver are derived from hepatic plexus, which is the largest derivative of celiac plexus. Hepatic plexus accompanies the branches of hepatic artery and hepatic portal vein to liver. This plexus consists of sympathetic fibers from the celiac plexus and parasympathetic fibers from anterior and posterior vagal trunks. Nerve fibers accompany the vessels and biliary ducts of the portal triad. The referred pain arising from parenchyma of the liver is poorly localized. In common with other structures of foregut origin, pain is referred to epigastrium. But if there is stretch or irritation of liver capsule by inflammation or neoplasia, it can produce well localized somatic pain. Now, few of the important clinical correlates of liver. The enlargement of liver is called hepatomegaly. When the liver is massively enlarged, its inferior edge may be readily palpated below the right costal margin and may even reach pelvic brim in the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. What is hepatic cirrhosis? As you know, the liver is the primary site for detoxification of substances absorbed by the digestive system. It is vulnerable to cellular damage and consequent scarring accompanied by regenerative nodules. So, when there is progressive destruction of hepatocytes and replacement of these cells by fat and fibrous tissue and nodules, this process is called hepatic cirrhosis. Liver biopsy is a common diagnostic procedure and it is performed for microscopic examination. The needle is inserted through right 9th or 10th intercostal space in the mid axillary line when the patient holding his or her breath in full expiration. This is for to reduce the size of costodiaphragmatic recess and the likelihood of damage to lung. And the small specimen of liver tissue is removed for microscopic examination. Hepatitis is the inflammation of liver. Then liver is common site of metastatic carcinoma, the secondary cancer spreading from organs drained by the portal system of veins. Cancer cells may also pass to the liver from the thorax, especially from the right breast, because of the communications between thoracic lymph nodes and lymphatic vessels draining the bare area of liver. Metastatic tumors form hard, rounded nodules within hepatic parenchyma. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.